Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to episode number 498 of No DQ&A video, only 2 away now from 500. Thank you guys for checking out the videos over the past 3 years now. Make sure you check out last week's No DQ&A videos and keep submitting your questions to spring.me/AaronRift. But for now, let's get to your questions because there's a lot going on in the world of WWE right now. We have Battleground this Sunday. We're coming off Raw with the big announcement that Sting will be in WWE 2K15, the video game. So obviously I got a lot of questions regarding Sting and other topics. First one today comes from Joey Jojo. If Sting appears in a WWE ring, when do you think that this will happen? Well, at this point, I don't think it's a if, I think that it's a when. Sting clearly has a working relationship now with WWE, and in my opinion, the video game is the start of things to come. And we saw a couple years ago, Brock Lesnar was in the WWE video game, and that did eventually lead to his return as a wrestler and coming back to the WWE and being part of the company again in a somewhat regular role. And then we saw last year with the Ultimate Warrior, same thing. He was in the WWE video game, and then he ended up going into the Hall of Fame. So with Sting, I think that this is the start of things to come with him. There is going to be a demand for Sting, and I think that WWE will deliver something with him. I don't know if it's going to be a Hall of Fame induction or if he's actually going to come back and wrestle again. Time will tell with that, but I definitely think that sooner than later, we will see Sting in a WWE ring, and I'll get to more of that in a second here. The next question here is from CPW1978. Cheers, No DQ&A video 500. With WWE budget cuts, can they even afford Sting? Would it be best to induct him into the Hall of Fame? Who would do it, by the way? And maybe have him do a stunt at WrestleMania 31. Calling it at that, instead of having him actually debut and wrestle a run. Here's the thing with Sting. Obviously, there is a lot of buzz about him, and just the whole WWE 2K15 announcement. I mean, NoDQ.com site traffic spiked big time when this went down, and Sting has gotten a lot of people talking, and there is value in Sting. So, yes, it will cost money to have him make appearances, but at the same time, you know, he is a guy that they can get a big return on with their investment. Sting is an all-time legend in the wrestling business, and there's several ways that they can utilize Sting. The obvious is the Hall of Fame and possibly a WrestleMania 31 appearance. I think that you would want to have him in a match at WrestleMania 31 or have him at least wrestle one time in a WWE ring. And, you know, going back to the other question, when will Sting actually appear in a WWE ring? You know, I figured that they would do something for WrestleMania and the Hall of Fame and all that stuff. But another interesting possibility is perhaps as soon as SummerSlam, because you have the WWE Network. The first 6-month terms are going to be coming to an end between SummerSlam and Night of Champions. And, you know, the word in WWE is that they are going to do a major angle to try and get people to sign on for another 6-month commitment. So, you know, this is just purely speculation on my part, but what better way than to have Sting maybe debut at SummerSlam, maybe as a surprise, or have him come out and take out the Authority or something like that, and then set up maybe Sting versus Triple H at Night of Champions as a hook to get people to commit to another 6 months with the WWE Network. I mean, that is definitely a very effective way that you could utilize Sting and get people subscribing to the network. So that's something that they could do, and they also may just hold off on him. With the video game, I think that that's a good way to introduce the younger fans to Sting, because obviously there's some people out there that are wondering, who is this guy in the white face paint and why do people care about him so much? So the video game will be a way to get kids into Sting, the new generation of fans, and also you know, get the older fan base excited about the possibilities with Sting and what will happen with him in WWE. So, you know, I definitely think that there's some big money WWE can make with Sting coming in and having one final run. And WWE is better than anybody when it comes to marketing and getting a lot of money out of Sting. They've already released a new T-shirt for Sting, and I think that there is a ton of value in him. So yes, they can definitely afford to bring him in. All right, this one comes from Kyle Mitchell 84. Hey Aaron, I understand the network is relatively new, but when do you think WWE will stop shoving it down our throats? Please answer in video. Well, I don't know if that's ever going to happen because the network is very critical to WWE's business right now, and they need as many subscribers as possible, and they are going to do anything that it takes to get those numbers up. And two things. First off, in a couple weeks, they will be announcing their latest network numbers, so they're trying every trick in the book. You know, they're doing this deal where you can subscribe and get the $25 gift card. They were doing that. They're doing the 1 week free trials, and they're plugging it like crazy on Raw. So they're really trying to at least in the short term get as many subscribers as possible, so they have something to give to stockholders in a couple weeks, so people don't freak out thinking that this network is going to be a huge failure. And also, as I mentioned earlier, the 6-month terms are coming up pretty soon. So if you think it's bad now, just wait till the end of August, because that's when the first 6-month terms will be coming up from when people signed up in late February. And WWE is going to want those people to renew and commit to another 6 months. So they're really going to be pulling out all the stops. And like I said, possible big angle between SummerSlam and Night of Champions to get those people to sign on for another 6 months. All right, this next one comes from Chris Mace 39628. Please answer in video. How do you like the build of Rusev versus Swagger? I like the build, but do you believe if it had nothing with the US versus Russia theme, it would be considered a throwaway match? Well, I think that the initial intentions of this match was to build up Rusev and have Jack Swagger fed to him. But I don't know if WWE anticipated the reaction that Swagger has gotten. I mean, Swagger has really gotten over as a babyface the last couple weeks, and a lot of it has had to do with Zeb Coulter. He's done a tremendous job on the mic. But the act really seems to be catching on. It really feels like WWE has something with Jack Swagger as a babyface, and at this point, I'm kind of feeling that maybe he should beat Rusev, because I feel in the long term maybe there's more you can get out of Swagger than Rusev with the typical anti-American gimmick. Swagger feels like he has some momentum right now, and unfortunately, he's probably just going to be fed to Rusev at the Battleground pay-per-view. And it was initially just another guy for Rusev to beat, but I really feel that Swagger could go far as a babyface with the reactions that he's been getting. He has the catchphrase, he has Zeb Coulter as the mouthpiece, he has the music. Everyone loves that entrance music, and people are popping for the ankle lock as a finisher. So Swagger has some momentum, and I'd hate to see it just be wasted away because they want to stick to their original plan of pushing Rusev as a monster. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this match and feud play out, but I hope that Swagger can go far with this, because I really feel like WWE has something with him. All right, this one comes from WWE fan Dark Arrow. Hey Aaron, with Jack Swagger's recent face turn and him getting more and more over each week, where's the ceiling from him? Do you think that he could main event again? That's the thing. I think that if WWE continues to push him and not just have him lose to Rusev and then go back to just being another guy on the roster, he might be able to be in the upper card again. I mean, it's certainly a possibility, and you never know. I mean, like I said, I don't think that WWE anticipated him getting over to this degree. I think that they just wanted to do the obvious storyline where Jack Swagger is the babyface Real American, and Rusev would just destroy him at the pay-per-view, and that would be the end of it. But now, Jack Swagger is getting one of the biggest reactions on the show. I mean, certainly on Raw. I mean, he was really over. So hopefully there is somewhere he can go here at this point. But, it's hard to say. I mean, we'll have to see how WWE handles it at Battleground and how they book it. Maybe they'll do some sort of screw job to keep the feud going or separate them again. I mean, who knows? Hopefully it's more than one match, because I definitely think that they can get some mileage out of the feud. All right, this one comes from Yoltz Daniel. Hey Aaron, what do you think about the crowd chanting boring at Bray Wyatt on Raw? Was this a sign that his character is running stale, or was it this particular crowd being a heavy pro-Jericho crowd? Please answer in video, thanks. I wouldn't put too much into it. I think that this was just a crowd that is an old school wrestling crowd where they cheer the baby faces and boo the heels. They're not trying to be the smart fans and cheer for the bad guys and all that stuff. You know, they were, like I said, they were very much in the swagger and doing the whole USA thing. It just felt like an old school wrestling crowd that just goes along with it, although they were heavily booing Cena, so, you know, not too much of a normal crowd. But yeah, I think that it was just them trying to get under Bray Wyatt's skin, and, you know, they were doing the what chants at Rusev, so, I mean, there were a few smart mark chants that they were doing, and the boring stuff was certainly a chant that people might identify with the smarter wrestling fans. But yeah, I wouldn't be too concerned about it. I mean, if it keeps happening, that's definitely a bad sign for Bray Wyatt, but my gut tells me that this was probably just a one-time thing. Alright, that'll do it for this edition of No DQ&A video. Thanks as always for watching. WWE Battleground this Sunday live on the WWE Network. NoDQ.com will have you covered. I will be back this Sunday doing live tweets. So follow me, follow the NoDQ.com account on Twitter, twitter.com/NoDQ, DOTCOM. Submit your questions for episode 499 and 500. And I will see you guys next time for more.